Hey everyone, this is Christopher Landon, the director of Scream 7, and you're watching Craven Something Scary.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, visitors, subscribers, patrons, and of course, my Cravenites. Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Well, guys, we made it. We are here tonight for the one and only visit from the one and only Alan Robinson, otherwise known as Ghostface, baby. That's right. Ghostface in Scream 2, as well as Timothy Oliphant's stunt double, and this fella named Matthew Lillard. I think you know who that is. You know who I'm talking about, Mr. Stumacher. His stunt double in Scream 96, amongst a myriad of other films and TV productions, which are quite impressive. I want to give a blanket hello to everyone in the chat. I see you all here. I appreciate every single one of you for coming tonight. Do begin to send in your questions you have for Alan tonight, or for Ghostface, if you will. Um, and definitely do that. Now, I want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. So if you can hear me on my mic, just tell me in the chat you can hear me. I would appreciate that. Just want to make sure all my audio is functioning before we get Alan on here. Okay, 1 second. We're just going to make everything tested out good, because technical difficulties can happen. Okay, the chat, you can hear me. You guys are good. Okay, loud and clear. Okay. Okay, very good. Let me just leave a note over here. There you go. Let's try that. Let's try that, Alan. Let's see if that works. Sometimes that will do the trick. Just to exit and come back. And let's see. Yep. Okay. So while waiting for Alan to join here back in just a second, we're having a little technical difficulty. So be patient. I know you always are. You always are. You know how it goes. I want to read some movies here. I want you to check some of these credits out and let some of this stuff sink in. Yeah. Okay. We're good. All right. Excellent. It's part of live streaming. This happens on every stream in some way or form. So we're good. All right. And Bill Perry. What's up, William Perry? Good to see you, man. Says, don't worry, I'll take over. That's a whole nother story when my internet went completely down during the interview. Oh, we'll save that for another day. All right. Okay, very good. Good to see you, Bill. But I'm going to read some credits to you right here, and just take a listen to this. Some of the work, just a fraction of the work Alan has done for over his career. He's been the stunt double for Clint Eastwood in The Mule, for Tom Hanks in Sully. He was the Tom Hanks stunt double in Forrest Gump. He was Tom Hanks stunt double again in Road to Perdition. He was Jim Carrey's stunt double in Batman Forever. Yes. He was the stunt coordinator for Blades of Glory. Love that movie. For Get Smart, for the Poseidon. He did stunt work in Jeepers Creepers 2, He did stunts in Anger Management, and one of the movies is one of my all-time favorite movies, Michael Douglas's film The Game from 1997. He did stunt work there. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I have a soft spot for it. Of course, I mentioned it earlier. He worked on Scream and Scream 2 with the great Wes Craven. He was Ghostface, my friends. Yes, he killed Jada. He killed Omar. He chased Gail. We're going to get into all of that. But those credits are just, I want those to sink in. And better yet, while you're thinking of those things, I want you to take a look at some of his work. So before I bring Alan on, this is a part of his stunt reel. And guys, just check this out. Crank up your volume and just soak in this amazing work that Alan has done over his career. And then I'll be bringing him on for you guys to enjoy and submit your questions. Here we go. Check it out. Crank it up. Wow. Yes. My gosh. That doesn't get you fired up. You don't have a pulse, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Okay. Hang on one second. Let's see. We're having just a little more difficulty. Bear with us. Bear with us. It'll be on just a second. We're just working this out. Isn't that clip amazing though, guys? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Wasn't that clip incredible though? Seriously. My gosh. And those jumps, those high jumps. Oh man. Hey, Knight. What's up, my man? Knight from the Night Watch Zone in the house says that was so awesome. Wasn't it? Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Unreal. Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, guys, I think the time has come. Do send in your questions or comments for Alan. Remember that we won't be able to get to every question because we have Alan for 1 hour. It's going to go fast. But if you do send in a super chat tonight, not only will you support the channel, but also I'll make sure you go to the front of the line and we will get those questions answered for Alan for you. All right, guys, without further ado, riding the wave at all those high jumps and explosions and car crashes and chases, please welcome the one and only Mr. Alan Robinson. Hey, Alan.
Hey, Stephen.
We did it.
Wow.
Well, hey, man, technology, man. It's all good. It's technology. What are you going to do? I mean, it's
hey, especially when it's live. Especially when it's live.
Yes.
Come on.
That's right.
I'm so thankful to be here. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, man. It's my honor. It's my privilege, and I've been looking forward to it. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, Bill Perry, you know Bill Perry, right, Alan? You know William.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. He says he'll be your stunt double for the interview.
Great. Hey, couldn't be anybody better.
There you go, man.
Love him. Come on, Bill. Come on, Bill.
Just in case any falls or jumps are needed on the interview, Bill can step in. Oh my gosh. People are loving the video, man. Knight, my buddy Knight, says he got goosebumps watching the stunt reel, and it's an amazing collection of a fraction of your work, and so it's just again it's just incredible, quite frankly. And I know we're going to be focused mostly tonight on Ghostface, but you've done so many things, and I'm glad that clip got to show like the vastness of what you've done. Really, it's great.
Yeah. No, I've had a great career, so that's just a little snippet. So
yes.
Yeah.
And Bill says it best. Alan is film history. I think that's very appropriate. Yes. And yes, I love it, man. But you know what? That's one thing, Alan, I just want to say. I've had the privilege of meeting so many in the stunt community, and I've shared with you before, I have a real passion to bring light and recognition to what you guys and gals do because it's so underappreciated, and there needs to be more recognition for the hard work you do because you guys are literally putting your lives on the line, quite frankly, with some of these stunts to make these movies believable and entertaining for the fans. And so what I've noticed is how amazingly tight-knit the stunt community is, like you and Bill and Lee, and just the names go on. It's just incredible. It's great.
Well, I think when you do something very exciting and dangerous together, it's a shared experience that really brings people together in a short period of time and everlasting. I mean, that's the best way I can describe that.
Yes.
So, it's a great community. Yeah.
Yes, like that. It's I see that. I really do, and it's so cool. So Alan, I think that what I'd like to do is, and again, folks, keep sending in your questions and your super chats. I will be inserting them in as our conversation goes tonight. So don't worry if I don't, say it within like a minute or two when you send it. I do see it. Okay, just want you guys to know. But let's what I'd like to do, and I know that when I got the pleasure to speak to you the first time, I asked you this question, but I felt it would be worth repeating now with an audience and a lot of new folks that are here. So I would just love if you could share your origin story again of that point in your life that this became your passion. Like this is what you were going to do.
Sure. Everybody comes from a unique background, and mine happens to be, and this is a true story. I didn't know what I wanted to do after I dropped out of college and kind of bounced around as a ski instructor and doing all these athletic things. And I answered an ad in the newspaper that read, "Stuntman wanted, will train." And what that was for a live stunt show where I was a gunfighter at a theme park, a little gunfight, getting shot off the balcony, and I got hired because I was an athlete in high school and college. And I did that one summer doing live stunt shows for $200 a week. doing 14 shows a day, 6 days a week.
Wow.
And that's the hook. That was the hook. I went, I want to do this. I want to pursue it. And then I went down and I moved down to Orlando and worked for Disney and doing all their live stunt shows, and including Indiana Jones for 4 years, and slowly getting film and television credits. And it's been downhill ever since.
Downhill.
But that's how I got started, by doing live shows. And
Okay.
everybody comes from a different background, but it was from my athletic background, and then willingness, and it became my passion. So, like I say,
Yeah.
I've never worked, a day in my life. That's not true, because I work hard, but it's not like going to work. I like to say I get to go to work. I don't have to go to work. I'm privileged to go. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It's been a heck of a ride.
Man, it has so incredible. And we're going to talk about so we're going to bounce around a little while and some stuff, but I think what I'd like to do is let's spend a little time talking about your amazing work on Scream 2, which is an amazing sequel. Period. It's I believe one of the best sequels to a horror movie in any horror movie franchise. Period. Because there's always usually such a huge dip from the first to the second in a lot of franchises, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Scream 2 was not the case. And your work as Ghostface, your portrayal, the way you could emote without speaking and in costume was incredible. All those little things you really pick up on as you watch it and you pay attention. And so I would like to, and again, your history though with Scream and Wes Craven's really begins at the beginning in Scream 1, because you were Matthew Lillard's stunt double. And I got to show this picture, Alan, as you start to tell us about that experience. Look at this, guys. Check that out. My audience, I bet many have never seen this image before. And Alan, I've told you before, this, I'm the conductor of the stew train. I'm a stew truther. I believe he's alive and kicking out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But this but this picture is phenomenal. I just love it. Makes me smile when I see it. And I would love for you if you could kind of take us back to that working scene 118 in Stu Macher's house with Wes and the whole crew.
Well, I was Tony Caesar was a stunt coordinator on the film, and he was a buddy. He called me up and said, "I think you'd be okay double for this actor Matthew Lillard, but he's a little taller. So when you show up, be taller."
That's awesome.
The whole time I'm always standing upright. I'm because I was a little bit shorter, not by too much, but
yeah.
So he hires me, and we were shooting that up in, I think it was Santa Rosa, California, so a little north of San Francisco. And show up, and walking through the house, and he's like, "Okay, you're gonna get in this fight in the hallway, and we're gonna have you tumble and do this little tumble through the hallway, and then chase over a couch, and then break some stuff and flip over the couch, and it's going to kind of crescendo with a TV being pushed over and landing on your head." And so it was described to me. I'm like, "All right, cool." And I'm thinking, okay, how do I do it? But when you're doubling somebody, when you're doubling an actor, you always want to bring their nuances into it. So the more you can watch them before you're on camera, like how do they do things, how they move and groove, and all those little nuances, you watch that in detail. And so I'm watching Matthew, but I didn't have much time to. But and I didn't see, what's interesting is I didn't see the scene leading up to it when they're in the kitchen stabbing each other. So I had no idea any of that happened. I just know they put me in wardrobe and I got this bloody sweater on. I'm like, boy, I guess they had fun in the scene before this.
Exactly. They sure did.
And you see the film, like, he's getting stabbed. And I mean, that was incredible. But so I was with a stunt woman named Kathy Marshall. She was doubling Nev, and the good thing is I'd worked with her for years. Um, down doing Indiana Jones live stunt show. So I knew her, and we'd done fights together. So we were able to just seamlessly just kind of get in there and tumble and roll and so we do all that, and now you get this fake blood on you, and then I get all this pillow feather all over it. It gets stuck everywhere, and it was all sticky, but you can't tell it's sticky and all that on camera. But that was my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to the scene, the end of it, where the TV gets crashed over my head,
Yeah.
and I haven't been officially introduced to Wes Craven yet. But he's there and he's acknowledged me, but we haven't really met yet because they're busy doing things and I do it. So now we do that final scene and we talk to the special effects guy about the TV and all the little sparks and little zert things that are going to spark and do this thing and all the protective nature, because that TV's got to be protective in front of me so the sparks don't go into me, but they go out and you see them. So I made sure everything was safe and verified that, because you don't want to get hurt and get burned and get sparks in your face and eyes.
Yeah.
So there's danger there, but we work closely with special effects. And now we do the scene. It gets pushed over my head, and he said, you're getting electrocuted. He didn't say die. He didn't say you're dead.
There you go, man.
What I remember is saying you're being electrocuted.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking back at it, well, that leaves a big window open what happens. But my story is with that. So I do the scene. I'm bloody. You got all this stuff. And we did it. And it was like, great. Okay, we got it. And I get up, and now Wes Craven comes over to me to, hey, great job. Comes over to me to shake my hand and kind of hug me. And I didn't want to do it because I was all bloody. And I remember going, I can't get the director with all this fake blood on me, get him. And then it instantly clicked right at that time, like, wait a minute, this is Wes Craven. He is the master of all this. I'm not the first person to hug him or shake his hand all bloody and get him, And it was a good moment. But I remember that moment of hesitation of like, wow. I can't get the director bloody from all this blood I got on me. So that was wow. Part of my story there. And then working with Matthew was really cool. We got along well, and it was it was cool to see. But you can see I'm a little shorter there, and,
right?
But in the film, you can't tell one bit.
Oh, not at all. No, not at all. It's very seamless, very seamless. Yeah. Wow, that's fantastic. So, guys, I'd like to say it. You're here to hear right here from Alan himself. Wes Craven never told him he was dead. He never said he was going to die. He just said he's electrocuted. That's fantastic, Alan. And Alan, I consider you. There's no better expert on this than you, because you were there. You were actually going through it. So you know what? Yeah. I lean on you, man. I think that's fantastic. I love to hear that.
Well,
that's great.
I'm just telling you what I know.
Yes. I'm going to clip that out. That's going to be a short. I'm going to clip that out.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. That's so great. Yeah. And I love hearing about Wes, Wes saying, not afraid to give you, or not afraid, but like didn't care that you were bloody. He was, that's incredible, man. Because some directors probably be like, no, I'm not gonna, I'll wave, I'll shake your hand. But that's so cool, man. That's great.
Yeah. Wow. Never forget it.
No, yeah. What a special memory. And that's Scream 1, but man, we're just cracking the can open here, because tell me, when does a phone call come to find out you're now being offered Ghostface, for goodness sake? That is like, oh my gosh. Wow.
Well, what's interesting, because Scream came out and it did well in the box office, but I don't watch a lot of what I do, so I don't really follow it much. It's a work, it's a job. I get paid, and then I move on to the next thing, and so it wasn't high on my radar when Scream 2 came out. Like it was going to be, wow, it's great. I'm getting to work on the sequel. It was like, all right, that's cool, and he said, okay, I'm going to have you come in and play Ghostface for some scenes, and
Hmm.
you're doubling Timothy Oliphant, and there's me with Timothy. So
Wow.
um, um, we did the Ghostface before I did the stuff for him personally. So yeah, that's me in the bathroom. I can tell by the Egyptian wallpaper in the background. But
Yes.
yeah, so we shot that as Ghostface, and I hadn't played Ghostface up to this point. And I remember Wes telling me now when I stabbed Jada in the movie theater,
Hmm.
he said I want every stab, I want a different expression out of you. And at the
Wow.
time, I was like, how do I make this mask have a different expression? I remember this moment of going, I can't just go stab, stab, stab. It's got to be stab, ha
Yeah.
ha. So I had to make the expressions behind the mask for the mask to come to life.
Mm.
And so I had to get in. I had to get into this character of like, I'm stabbing you to kill you. I'm enjoying this. I'm getting this. Oh yeah, I got it. So when you're telling
Yes.
yourself that behind the mask, it's coming alive, and you're making these gestures with your head and movements. And I'm not really thinking about it at that point. I turn into Ghostface. You're
Ah.
it's I am a killer with a mask on, and now I'm bringing emotion into that. It's like, first I'm like, I want to kill you. I'm enjoying this. I'm going to kill you more. I'm going to, all these little things. I don't remember exactly all the little thoughts I had, but I remember
Yeah.
going, I remember several of those, and I see them on camera. I'm like, all right, pulled it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's that one scene where it's the last stab, I believe, of Jada when you really you like just lean back. Yes, there it is,
Yeah,
and deliver the final blow, and then you let her go, and then you
yeah,
just quickly make your exit. You just fly off to the side of the camera,
yeah,
and wow, what a just a whole
yeah,
that whole sequence was powerful, man. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, it really was. And I love when she comes, whenever you come back, she thinks it's her boyfriend Omar, and you
yeah,
sit down. Of course, we know, the audience knows who it is. He got the mask
yeah,
on,
yeah,
and when
yeah.
she reaches up and she's got the bloody
Yeah,
fingers, and
she
she's
gives
like,
that look.
yes, like
She
totally,
gives
like,
that
what's
look.
happening?
Oh,
Yes.
it was so fun to do because it was like actors work off each other, and she's like looks down at the blood. She looks up at me like, what is this? And that was a challenging scene. I'll never forget it because she had a
Mhm.
little crop top on, and I'm sitting next to her, crouched down to be Omar size, and kind of crouched down in the theater. I got the ghost face mask on. It's got the mesh eyes. The theater's got the stuff playing, and so it's kind of flashing.
Mhm.
And the killer ghost face in this movie is left-handed. So I am right-handed. That means I'm really good right-handed. My left hand is not as good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not as good. And I have
Yeah.
to backhand her. I have to just lean forward, look, and stab her left-handed into a small little area where the retractable knife, we used retractable knives back then,
Mhm.
when this
Mhm.
retractable knife went into her little crop top where they put a little leather patch underneath it just so that retractable knife wouldn't hurt her. And it's just very
Okay.
little pressure, but it was just a little padding they put. So I had a really small little target to hit with a knife with really, there was no peripheral. There was no peripheral because um, I had to just lean forward and go for it. So I had to commit to it without even seeing it. And if I
Oh
missed,
man.
if I missed, I would either hit her. I would hit her in the wrong spot. It would either
Right.
be too high and be hitting her
Mm-hmm.
in her breast, or I'd hit her below the little padding. Either way, you didn't want to miss. You didn't want to miss. Trust
No.
me. That was really challenging. Looking through this mesh, which and not
Wow.
having any peripheral to get a head start to turn, it was just like, okay, here I go, wham. And so
Oh,
mentally,
God.
you just prepare, you practice, you
Mm-hmm.
visualize, visualize it. It all went well, but it was certainly challenging for something that seems pretty simple and easy.
Ooh, now, did you and Jada, did you practice that at all without the mask first? Like just going,
No,
no, you just straight in. Wow.
yeah.
Ooh,
We had a couple of outtakes in that. There was a couple of takes where she said something and I came up and I didn't stab because it was I
mm-hmm.
forgot the reasons, but I did see that online somewhere, some outtakes, and she cracked up, and I was probably laughing too behind the mask, but I saw some outtakes in the theater with her laughing next to me.
Oh man, but that was a precision hit and you nailed it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So
Wow.
that began that whole sequence, and then chased her out. But I believe we shot the bathroom scene with Phil / Omar, and I remember Wes telling me, it's like there's going to be this weird noise, a noise of like a knife kind of scratching on the bathroom wall, and that's going to and then he goes, no, maybe I'll make it some sounds. So I don't think it was determined right then, but he said there'll be some noise, because that's what Omar's like, what is that? And puts his ear up there. And so he's not there when I do it, but I have to just slam that knife into the bathroom wall. And gosh, boy, that was impactful when it's cut back to him and him taking that knife in the head.
Yes.
And then coming out of the bathroom stall, that was cool, because now I'm in character. I mean, I'm just coming out. I'm like, okay.
I love
Did
that.
anybody see me? Because I'll kill you right now. And okay,
Yep.
nobody. Okay, and then it cuts to, and now I'm in the theater, coming to sit down. But yeah, so lucky to do that. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that is so cool. It's an epic intro. It's an epic opening to that movie. And I just love it. Never get tired of watching it. I mean, just never do. And it's funny because our friend Polar said that scene made me nervous to see Scream movies in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah. Big screen.
Yes. Now that I do want to ask you a question about the whole filming of that. So there's a bunch of extras there. Theater's full. It's controlled chaos purposefully, obviously.
Yeah.
How would you describe the atmosphere in the Rialto Theater when you guys were doing this? What was it like on set with all these extras everywhere? And how did Wes control things, if you will, if that makes sense? How are we, I'm just curious, like what it was like to be in all of that as you're filming and outtakes and all that, retakes.
Sure. The general controlling of it is done by the first AD, the first assistant director, who kind of runs the show. Wes is directing it, but he's the one going, okay, everybody, take your places. Okay, you do this, and he's kind of directing the parts, but organizing and directing people to do their things, as Wes is ultimately directing. So so he's the one going, okay, hey, make sure that the screen's got the film rolling, and okay, extras can do all the thing, but they can't make noise. So when you see them out there going, they're not making noise. They tell them, yeah.
Interesting.
So,
okay. That's all post-production.
Yeah, because
wow,
that makes it distracting for anything that, like Jada's saying or whatever, for their dialogue. You can't talk over that.
Good point. I never really connected those dots before, Alan. That's new information. That's interesting. I'm going to remember that now when we watch Scream 2, guys, remember it's silent in the theater. Well, as far as people's voices, they're miming it. That's really wild. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I just never thought of that, Um,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
how long was that shoot, Alan? Was that, how many, I'm just curious, how long is it, multiple days
I think
to get
it
it
was
done?
definitely a couple days. I don't remember
Okay.
how many, but it was more than one,
Okay.
2, 3. Yeah, I don't remember taking a whole long time, but you've seen that opening scene and you've seen Ghostface in it. But did you know behind me, one of those masks is the mask that you saw? It is a screen used mask that
Oh.
I have from that scene. So
Oh, dude, it's from that
uh,
exact scene. Oh
I had,
man.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, "It's cool. Grab one of those." Now it's like Fort Knox if
Wow.
you try to take anything from the movie set. But back
That's what
then it
I've
was like,
heard.
hey, yeah. So
Yeah.
I am really, really fortunate with that. And that's pretty special. You know, it's
Absolutely.
pretty darn special. Yeah.
And in fact, and I'm going to tease it now, guys, because a little bit later in the stream, and time is going by, my gosh, so fast. But a little
Yeah.
bit later, and not too far from now, we're going to talk about Alan's appearance at the Chiller Theater Convention in New Jersey at the end of the month. And Alan, a little birdie's told me that mask may just be making an appearance. Am I right about that?
That is correct, Stephen. Taking it on the road.
Woohoo!
I'm taking that Scream used mask, the one that you saw in the opening sequence, and it's been verified. We've got the research. Don't take my word for it, although you should, because I was
Right.
there. It was me. But it
Exactly.
also has other, third party verification that shows. And um, um,
Yeah.
I am taking it for photo ops. I will have it at my signing table, but you'll get to take a picture with it if you sign up for the photo ops at the Chiller Theater Expo coming up. So
That is
I'm
incredible.
looking forward to that. It gives people a chance to kind of see a piece of movie history.
Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, as we're talking about it, let's just dive in now and then we'll come back to some movie talk. How about that? We'll flip it around. Let's do it right now. So, guys, listen, check this out. Alan is going to be at the Chiller Theater Con in Parsippany, New Jersey. We talked about it last night with Kevin. It's going to be the 27th through the 29th of this month. It says, and Alan, this is your first con appearance.
Yes. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
huge. This is huge. Oh my gosh. Look at that, man. And Alan's having his screen used mask. This is the first time you will have ever had the chance to meet him, guys, ever in person. And so if you live anywhere within like reasonably a few hours driving distance, you need to make the trip to Parsippany, New Jersey. And I know my moderator right now, thank you, Sarah, just put a link into the Chiller Con. Here it is. You guys can click the link, buy your tickets now while we're streaming so that you can go and meet Alan at his very first appearance. And Alan, I know you're looking forward to meeting the fans. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing.
I tell you, I am so looking forward to it because I can see people 1-to-1 not on screen here. And if you do come out, and please do if you can,
Yes.
tell me that you saw me on Craving Something Scary. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That
Yes.
lets me know that you saw this show or you heard about it through
Mhm.
this show, and that'll make it extra special.
That would be amazing, guys. Yes, if you're here live or you're going to watch the replay over the coming weeks here in the month of October, people will watch this, as a replay. Yeah, please do make plans to go. I'm going to put it up again, and we'll put it up again at the very, very end. But there it is, guys. Chiller Theater Convention, October 27th through the 29th. You can get a photo with Alan. You can get an autograph. You can get a picture with him with the screen used mask from the opening of Scream 2. This is the first time he's ever done this. You've ever had this opportunity. And so, you know what, guys? If you can make this trip, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. You're going to have an amazing time, and you'll get to speak to Alan, and you see how awesome he is, and he'll be just that awesome in person when you get to meet him face to face. So, guys, do go, and and just kind of piggybacking, Alan, on with you. It is a bit of a Scream reunion, isn't it? At Chiller.
Yeah, that makes it real fun. Yeah, there's
It
several
really
others from.
is.
Yeah, yeah, you can see
Yeah,
it
we've
right
got
there.
here we go. We got Lynn McCree, who's going to be there, her first convention appearance as well. And she'll be here on the channel Monday night at 8 p.m. Central. And of course, Alan, there's that scene with Jada, of course. And then you'll also get a chance to meet one of the new ghost faces from Scream 6. Matthew Coder will be there as well. And I'm having him on the channel the 24th of this month. So you're getting a chance to meet everyone here first, hear these amazing stories, and many of these stories, Alan, I know you've never shared before because publicly some of these stories, and when we really appreciate you opening up and sharing all this. This is wonderful.
Oh, I love it. I thank you for having me because I love horror movies and I love the things I've done and it's fun to share it to
Yeah.
like when I hear somebody tell me about their experiences, it's just it makes it more enriching. So I'm so happy to be able to share my little goofy experience, as I
Oh,
call it. But no, the longer time goes by, the more I realize, wow, it was pretty important. You don't know that
yes.
when you're making it. It's like we were
True.
making Forrest Gump, and I was like, "This is a silly, stupid little movie,"
Oh,
and
man.
it ended up doing pretty good. So you don't
That's
know,
right.
and sometimes as a stunt person, you don't see the big picture. And especially like you
Mhm.
come in and play Ghostface, you didn't. I didn't like when I was doubling Stu. I didn't know the scene in the kitchen. Wow.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't see the big picture. You come in and do your job and you leave. Sometimes you know the big picture. You've read the entire script. You know every scene,
Mhm.
what's going to happen. But some you don't.
Yeah, and then when you find out later, when you get to see it all in concert, if you will, the whole thing put together, wow. And again, it's a phenomenon. I mean, the Scream fandom is so, and you're going to find this, Alan, at these conventions that you'll be starting to go with Sixcom, is that the fan base, and I know you already know this. I'm not telling you anything new, perhaps, but you're going to see it when you get to these cons. The fan base for Scream is so loyal, so intense. We love these movies. That we're passionate about these films, and we can literally quote the script as we watch it. We could say the lines with everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
these are meaningful to us. They mean
I
they're
love that.
important.
I love that enthusiasm. That's
Hmm.
why I'm just so happy to be, just getting started with this because it
Yeah.
excites me. It's not like, just it's, just something to do. It's a passion, just like when I got into stunts. Now I get to go out and share the experience, meet people, take pictures, sign autographs, and give people back some of the
Yes.
stuff that,
Yes.
you know, you know, anyway, I'm
Yeah.
getting all gushy about
I know. It's okay.
it.
Oh, well, hey, we've got a few questions here. Some folks have
Sure.
sent in, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. We got some super chats that came through. That was very kind. Perry has sent in a super chat for the channel and says, "Hey, Alan, what was the most intimidating stunt for you?"
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's a good one.
And I'm going to assume that's career-wise.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intimidating. Good word. Intimidating. Ooh. Sometimes working with animals because you can't control them. Like I
Yeah.
had this, but there's a number of them that can be intimidating. But when you start breaking it down, you get comfortable with it because you can't go into it with intimidation. You break it down, and you go into it with confidence, so you can do the best job you can. Um, so
Mhm.
I mean, I'll just name it. One time I had some pit bulls that had to jump up on my chest as I was in a wheelchair, and they had to
Oh.
jump on my chest, and then I flipped over backwards, and they scrambled over me. And the people,
Man.
you can tell them what to do, but pit bull
Yeah.
dogs, you can't. Their big heads are right up in your face. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
one right off. That was one right offhand.
Yeah.
Intimidating. Sometimes it's intimidating at first, and I break it down into little chunks, like
Mm-hmm.
doing a bungee jump from 3,000 feet and then cutting
Oh,
loose, falling another 800 feet and parachuting down. Sounds big. It was, but I'm like, okay, I got the bungee jump part, and I got the free fall, and I got the parachute part. I got to hook it up to a balloon, and I'm going to be in the air. And you break it down into little chunks, it's not as intimidating. So,
wow. But man, I'm looking.
so Perry,
Yeah.
I hope that helps. Good question.
And it's a great question. I'm gonna add on to it just one little one. What would you say was the most dangerous stunt that you did?
Getting married.
That's awesome. I love it.
Or is it the most dangerous or scariest? No, most dangerous. Well, it's the things you can't control, like doing big car crashes that involve a lot of moving parts. That some of these parts can hurt you real bad or kill you real quick. And you
Mm-hmm.
plan, you prepare, and you plan and you prepare, and then you're like, done the best I can, and you
Wow.
go forward. Um, so so
Yeah.
for kids out there, make sure you plan and prepare.
Oh, yes. Safety above all
Safety
else,
first.
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's right.
We're really high risk illusionists. That's what I
Mm,
like to consider it. Yeah,
I like that term. High risk
yeah.
illusionist. Wow. Yeah, I'm telling you, watching your stunt reel, looking at those high falls, oh my, I just couldn't even. I almost want to just like, oh, I can't imagine how you just. Again, I always say it like this: it's not in my DNA. So when I see it, I
Yeah.
respect it. I like admire it because I could never do it, and it's just boom off in the middle of the air, just falling, and
Yeah.
bungee
I love
jumping or
falling.
whatever.
I
Yeah,
love falling, and I like being in the air. It's the sudden stop that you got to kind of control.
yeah, yeah. What I heard expression once: flying is always been safe. It's crashing that's dangerous as heck. Also checking in is our friend Anthony over at Child of the Corn. Thank you, Anthony, for your super chat supporting the channel tonight. Says, what's good, Craven and everyone? Yo, Mr. Robinson, loved your work in Scream 1 and 2. Both opening scenes are crazy and iconic, will stand the test of time. Do you have any favorite horror films while growing up?
Well, I did. I'm a little bit older, so it was a different genre, but Alfred Hitchcock scared me. And if I had to pick one, it was the movie The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock. The Birds.
Ooh,
So if you haven't seen that, you know, um, I every time I watched that as a kid, it scared me, and so that was my that's another really
okay,
good question because it was Alfred Hitchcock was kind of my Wes Craven when I was growing up,
okay, yeah,
because he made these really suspenseful movies and Psycho um, and so that's a good one, but that's mine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, Hitchcock, wow, he really did lay a lot of groundwork for, I always like to say that it seems like every decade stands on the shoulders of the previous decade, and
Good
in a
one.
lot of
Yeah.
ways, and certainly Hitchcock could bring it. He understood
Yeah.
suspense. Yes. Thank you so much, Anthony, for that. And real quick, my friend Gina, my Chunky Geordie's, her 7th month anniversary today as a channel member says, thanks for talking to us, Alan. It's great. No.
Oh, yeah, so kind. Thank you. And it's double Len. I think I saw you had it spelled there.
It's like I'm gonna cover the bases.
Oh, thanks for the
um,
nice comment. Thank you.
yes, indeed. And thank you so much for being a channel member, Gina. And Casey is coming in with a super chat, and her question is a little bit further. Let me put this. Her comment was, I think he plays an awesome Ghostface.
Oh,
All
oh,
right.
Oh, that's very kind. I mean, those are big shoes to fill.
Well, but then everyone that followed you, my friend, had big
Well,
shoes to fill. So
yeah, but
it's
I was only following Lee Waddell's, so I just want
true.
to make that. I need to put that point out there. So the original Ghostface in Scream
That's right.
One, but when you do it, you're just doing your job and you do the best you can. So if it comes out good, you're like, "Ooh, okay, good."
Oh,
So
and it did. Let me just tell you, in spades.
hmm,
And Casey also sending another $2 super chat. Thank you, Casey, for supporting the channel. That's very kind. We also have another super chat that came through from my friend Eric at Two Boys and their Scary Pops. Thank you, man. It says, Alan, being able to be Ghostface and help create the passion for this franchise, how would you personally like to see Scream 7 play out?
ooh,
And
ooh.
favorite attack scene? Oh, wow.
Oh gosh, that's really tough. Another good question, and I haven't put any thought into that, and they really expanded the how Ghostface has done things and got. I mean, I'm amazed what they're doing now. Like when I saw Scream Six, it was like
Mm-hmm.
that was better. Scream Three was better than two, and well, story wise, whatever. But I look at it and I go, wow, that was good. I'm looking at the physicality. But here's something to remember: Ghostface represents the killer behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you reveal, hey, it was a female and a male, it's got to be
Mm-hmm.
this. If the actor character is whatever his character is, you got to bring that to life in Ghostface. So Ghostface is not generic across the board. You're actually bringing him to life for the actual character behind it. Does that make sense?
It
You know.
does. Yes.
So if you have a very very athletic uh, actor that you're portraying, he may be more super ninja martial art guy, and
Mm-hmm.
then or you may have somebody who's a little bit sloppier, but he's still killing away. So
Yeah.
that's a good question. I'd say just keep expanding the limits, and
Mm-hmm.
Scream Seven, just make it appropriate for the character.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's great because, as you say, it continues to change. And now Christopher Landon is directing.
Mm,
So we're going to have a new director
yeah.
in for the next installment.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
great.
excited for that. I think he's a really awesome writer and director. And so I'm very pumped to see, Christopher's fingerprint on the franchise and
Mhm.
what that will look like. Eric, thank you for your super chat. That was very kind.
Yeah.
And it was a great question. Much
Yeah.
appreciated.
Wow.
And we'll go just
Man,
through a few more. What's that, Alan?
yeah. No, you got great comments and people and great questions. Keep going. Yeah.
Okay,
I
man.
got all night. I got all night. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 more hours.
Oh, there we
Keep going.
go. Well, maybe around midnight, 1 a.m. We'll consider shutting it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Whatever it takes. I'm here.
Whatever it takes. I love that. Now I want to talk about because one of the questions I want to show here is actually one of the questions I was going to ask too. It ties in, and it's one of the scenes that's considered not only by myself, but much of the Scream fandom to be one of the best chase scenes in the franchise, all 6 movies. And of course, this is the scene, Alan, where you are chasing Gale Weathers
Oh,
in the
yeah.
studio down there, and I just have to ask you about this scene. What was it like filming this? How did Wes direct you in this? And how did it feel to stab David Arquette? I
Well,
have to ask.
I really enjoyed that because it became a kind of a cat and mouse feel to it,
Yes.
and I recall it was a practical studio, so it wasn't like a bunch of flimsy set
Hmm.
piece walls and stuff. So I got to really slam stuff and be very physical in it,
Yeah.
and no, he was given direction like, okay, she's going that way, you go this way, but or just chase her. And so some of it was organic, you just
Okay.
what felt natural, like I'm gonna get her, I'm gonna go this way, I'm gonna go that way. What's my reaction? Others were like, he had some idea where it was going, and would direct it. But it was fun. So I'm chasing Gail, Courtney,
Mm-hmm.
and that was fun. But when David came in, and let me go back to Courtney, because there was a
Sure.
memorable point, because and it wasn't played on screen, but when we shot it, it seemed like it lasted 10 minutes. But there was this plexiglass, or the studio glass between Courtney, who's literally like this close to me. Here's the glass, and here's me behind the face here, and I'm looking at Courtney in the eyes. She can't see me because I'm in the mask, and I was just like, I could almost, if that glass went there, I could feel her breathing. I mean, in other words,
Wow.
it was
Yeah.
just kind of neat to be looking in her eyes this close, and
Man.
again, but she can't see me. She can't see my reaction, but. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't really come off on camera. It was only for a fraction of a second, but we started with that. And then when David came along, I stabbed him, and we did several versions of that. And because I don't know I don't know behind the scenes on that, whether they wanted to make it, more of a, wanted to kill him at that point, or it's just a wounding, or to what
Mm-hmm.
degree, because I did one, and he was very bloody. It was like, it felt like he was killing him. So I don't know. I just stabbed him. You can
Okay.
quote me. You can quote me on that one. I like that.
I
That's a
love it.
good one. That's a good quote. I just stabbed him.
Just stabbed him, man. Life or death, I'm not concerned. I'm just stabbing the guy. Hello. That's
Just
great.
stab it away.
And then folks,
Uh,
of course, all chiming in, talking about the best chase scene ever. Such an iconic scene. It
yeah,
really is.
it built with frustration too, and that's, I look
Mhm.
at it, and I remember doing it. I remember taking this chair, picking up this chair, and throwing it against a glass. And
Yes.
we did that a few times, but I think the first time I threw it, it hit and bounced back and like hit me. I go, oh, don't do it that way. Be further away, because
Sure.
it was not good to have the chair bounce back and hit you. You don't want Ghostface to be
Mhm.
taken out by himself. And
Right. No.
that wouldn't be good.
No.
But I remember the building of tension in that, and I
Mhm.
felt it as we were
Yes.
shooting it,
Yep.
and the frustration, and she closed the door and put this bookcase thing in the way, and I
Mhm.
just came in there, and I was just stabbing back and forth, and
Yes.
it was a desperation and building of anxiousness to get to her. Yeah, I
Yes.
remember
I
it
love
like it
that.
was yesterday. Yeah,
It was awesome. I mean, yeah, we feel it. Like we feel it. You're sitting there and you're so angry. You just want to get to her. Yeah, I guess you're doing the knife swipe. And then I love it when you walk before you throw the stool, the chair, or whatever, the stool.
yeah,
I love it when you walk over and you look at her. Like you don't just grab it. You see her there and she's there. And then you grab it and you throw it and you're just trying to break it. And she's like completely engulfed in fear and cowering down to the floor, hiding in the corner because she can't get out. There's nothing she can
yeah,
do but
yeah,
watch this. And then all of a sudden you're gone. It's just like, oh my gosh. It's just what a scene, man. It was wonderful. Just wonderful.
yeah.
But what's interesting to me is how you mentioned just now, as you were filming it, you felt the suspense in filming the scene. And
You
did
have
you have a feeling it was going to be a special scene? Did you think like this one's gonna people
I
are gonna
don't
remember this one?
I wouldn't say I knew it was going to be special, as much as I know it was intense, and it was building, and I was putting a lot of energy into it. So I think that's
Yes.
why it came out the way it was, because I was putting a lot of energy into it. And, you know, you can put energy into it, and you never know what's going to happen. They could cut it and make it less. So really, it's up to the director. So it was, however, he was sitting there editing it and going, okay, we're going to go with this energy and make it, build. and
Yes.
yeah, so it was
Woo.
yeah,
It's awesome. It's
yeah.
just awesome, man. People are chiming in. Polar says, I felt like I couldn't breathe the first time I watched that
Oh,
scene. Yes. Definite cat and
yeah,
mouse. Absolutely. Jason
yeah.
says it's my favorite chase scene of the franchise.
Oh,
Yeah.
how cool. Thanks,
Hmm.
Jason. I
Yep.
appreciate that. Thank you. No, I
Hmm.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of people share that sentiment, me included.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and Val said, I just love the Gale chase scene in the studio. Yes,
Thanks, Val. Thanks.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I love this. Polar said, being a stunt double for Matthew and Timothy's major flex. They are goaded. They're all gangers of all time. I love it.
I'm honored. You can't pick and choose your jobs necessarily. So what landed on my lap, and I thank Tony Caesar,
Yeah.
the coordinator, and you never know, but now look back at it, I'm like, all right, Matthew and Timothy, really? God,
Right?
yeah,
So cool.
um,
And I want to show those again for folks who've come in late, different times of the stream. This is from Scream 2 when Alan is doubling Timothy right there. And Alan, we haven't talked about the scene yet. Well, you wanna fill us in on that, even though it was in the stunt reel, but let's talk about it real quick, if we could. The scene where you double Timothy in the theater in the third act, and how
sure,
tell us
sure.
tell us about walk us through that if you could.
Well, I'm watching Timothy do the scenes with Nev and Courtney there, and I
Mhm.
prior to that, I had a scene with Nev. We had a little fight, and she slashed me and stuff. But so Timothy comes in, and his character was just he was just like his character and came in. He was a bit crazed, and I
Okay.
have to pick up on that energy and portray that
Mhm.
when I'm doing stuff. And I did a bunch of stuff and some fight. A lot of the fight stuff is me in there. But the big thing at the end is I get shot. Right? They pull up their gun.
Yes.
I come alive. I come alive, and then they just go bang, 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 and then I go flying back into the movie set of these big fake boulders,
Mhm.
and and um, uh, it was interesting because when I went flying back, it's a cable attached to me that pulls me, yanks me back.
Hmm.
I'm wearing a tight T-shirt. How do you put a stunt harness on and put a tight T-shirt and not see the harness? So the
Yeah.
night before that, I went home and made the harness that I had underneath that, which was nothing but Velcro, which laid flat, not a bunch of webbing and buckles and stuff.
Wow.
I love rigging stuff like that. I like being creative, and I made the harness that I was wearing underneath that T-shirt to be jerked back. And
Unbelievable.
but
Wow.
Timothy, so there's a lot of little things like that behind the scenes that I did to be able to make that come to life. But working with Timothy was awesome. He was just full of energy and everybody on that stage. I said stage because we shot that on a stage. That
Mhm.
um, it was just really that was special too. Being part of that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Lori Metcalf, she did an
Oh yeah.
incredible job of being unhinged. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And you got to be a part of that whole experience and be in the scene, which is so cool. That's so awesome.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
look at you building your own harness the night before you film the scene. That's incredible, man. Wow.
Well, yeah, and I don't know why it ended up being the night before. Why, it was something like,
Yeah.
"Hey, tomorrow we're gonna do this," and I'm like, and I just remember I can't wear a regular stunt harness,
Mm-mm.
although they're really low profile these days. But I was making harnesses. I come from being a skydiver and a parachute rigger, and so I had the materials to do it. But it was just the night before going, all
Wow.
I have to do is do this. It's going to be so minimal but low profile to fit underneath a tight T-shirt, and
Mm-hmm.
it worked. And it was, but
Yes, it did.
I'm putting in 110% anytime I work. So it's like stay up
Right.
late and do some extra homework and make things better the next day. That's what we do. That's what some people do.
That's
Yeah,
right. Wow. Wonderful job.
yeah.
And we got a super chat just popped in real quick. Anthony from Children of the Child of the Corn, excuse me. It's coming back. Thank you, Anthony, for the support. It says, "Yo, Alan, just curious, with the craze of the Scream in the late '90s, craze of Scream in the late '90s, did you enjoy or love any other slasher films of the time, like I Know What You Did Last Summer or Urban Legend?"
Um, that's interesting because I think I was, to be honest with you, I was too busy making movies during that period. The 90s just exploded for me, early 2000. I don't, like I said, a lot of times I don't go see the movies. And then when they come out, maybe when they came out on DVD, back when we had to go to Blockbuster and rent them. And
Yeah.
not dating myself or anything, but no,
I'm right there with you.
but yeah, I mean, it's probably bad on my part because I'm making it, so I didn't go see many in films in general, much less any horror films, those that you mentioned there. So no, I mean, most of the time I would see a film was for research. Like, okay, we need a double Jim Carrey. Okay, well, I'm gonna watch his films and kind of just watch his slinky moves and and get it, by watching the films. So that was kind of my reason I would watch films. But for a long period there, I didn't go to the theater to be entertained. I was just working.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's a good problem, though. It's that's a good problem to have, right?
yeah. Looking back at it, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Anthony, thank you, my man, for supporting the channel and for a great question for
Yeah.
Alan there as well. That's awesome. And thank you, Sarah, too, for putting the links in, reminding everyone to meet Alan at the Chiller Theater Con, October 27th through the 29th. And there's the
Yeah.
web address right there. You can click it in the chat, and you can go right to their page. You can buy tickets there. You can click and see the guest list. You'll see Alan right there on the list, as well as Lynn McCree and Matthew Coder. Kind of the Scream reunion. It's going to be so cool. So don't forget to do that. And also, yes, AlanRobinson.com is the place to go to check out. You got to check out the website. He's got that stunt reel that I showed you guys. You can watch it on his website anytime you want. And I highly encourage you to rewatch it again because there's a lot of stuff happening there. And yeah, go and spend some time on his website. It's fascinating. You can see all of his films he's worked on, so you can start making a checklist to see, oh, I've seen that one, or I need to see that one. I need to see that one. And you can see all of Alan's films. That'd be pretty cool, right, man? If everyone made a checklist and on a mission. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, especially some of those early horror films like Psycho 4, doubling the original Norman Bates, that's there I am right there.
There it is.
So that's the original Norman Bates from Psycho. And when I got called to work on Psycho 4, I was like, are you kidding me? Because the original Psycho came out about the year I was born, and I was like, to be part of that franchise, you so think great. Being part of the Scream franchise, to me, that was like, now Alfred Hitchcock wasn't alive, so he didn't direct that, but that's just one of the many other things you can see pictures of on the website, and or Instagram is another way to stay in touch there.
So that's right. Yes. In fact, I believe Sarah has been putting your Instagram in the chat as well.
Excellent.
Yes, she's been doing a great job of keeping the links flowing. So please, so if you could, Sarah, put that up again when you can, I'd appreciate it. And there it is right there. There it is. Yes, there we go. So be sure you guys go and click the link. It'll take you right to his Instagram, and be sure and follow him because he's posts some great pictures, man. You post a lot of good stuff on there.
I'm trying to just keep people entertained with all this stuff. I'm digging out old albums and going, wow, look at this picture, and and I love sharing it because it's why I want to share it so other people can enjoy the stuff I've been really blessed with to do. So
Yes.
um,
Yes, indeed.
yeah,
And Val just wanted to say stunt people are the unsung heroes of the movies. Without them, we don't get what we see on the screen. That's so true.
well,
So
that's awfully nice, Val. That's true. But we do sign up for that. We do sign up to be the unsung hero. So yeah, we kind of want to be recognized, but at the same time, we don't, because we're not there to be the star. We're not there to overshadow the star. But yeah, we do carry a heavy load of risk, physical stuff that we do. Um, you know, I think every stunt
yeah.
person does it out of passion with stuff we do. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a role that if your heart's not in it, there is no way you're going to subject yourself to that potential
Yeah.
danger. You've got to
Yeah.
be all in, and clearly, Alan, you are all in, man. You are all in, sir, and it shows. It shows. Real quick, guys, we're going to start wrapping up because we already have gone over our time we had scheduled with Alan, and I want to always be respectful of Alan's time that he spends with us, so that he'll want to come back again, so that he'll want to stay and know that it's going to be a fun time. Having said that, there is one question I'd love to, if you wouldn't mind, that came in from the chat that is interesting because I've actually never heard this. Maurice Rimster came in and said, I had originally heard that you had stabbed Omar 3 times in the bathroom stall. Was that true? In the final cut, he heard they cut it to just 1. That's interesting. I've not heard that.
To be honest with you, I do not remember.
Okay.
I remember hitting the wall, stabbing it, and Omar's not there, and I'm just going on direction. So if they're telling me stab it once, stab it 3 times, so I cannot give you an honest answer because I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I wish I had the answer and go, yeah, we did that this way, and this way. But I remember, lots of these things you do, you don't remember, because it's just another
Sure.
day on the job.
Right.
Kind
You're
of-
not thinking, you're not taking a catalog of like
Yeah.
all of that.
Some things stick. Some things I
Sure.
remember details like nobody's business. Some of the things I did, but some of them it's like, yeah. And I just remember it was a scratching sound. I remember I think I had to take the knife and scratch on the bathroom wall to make a scratching sound. But in the movie, I think it ended up being like a little voices like
Yes.
like somebody like.
That's
and,
right.
So that's a little thing. So the stabbing 3 times, that's a good question. Don't have the answer. Yeah. And I was a guy, and I should know. Maybe too many concussions.
Oh.
I'll blame it on that. No.
And Jason says, thank you so much, Alan, for visiting. It's such an honor. I wish you continued success in your career. Some people are amazing and should get more credit. Let's hope the Oscars wake up. Amen to that.
Well,
yes.
That's first of all, thank you so much. That's awfully kind of you. But yeah, they give credits in the Oscars, the Academy Awards for best sound, best hair, best things. Stunts have a really large role in films, and we don't get the credit. No. Don't get me started on that. It's not fair.
Know.
Not fair at all. Part of me says, hey, we signed up for it. We didn't sign up to be the star and get the credit. Hey, look at me. We don't do that. Yeah. But at the same time, if they're going to give it to all these other categories, recognize us.
Yeah, exactly.
Recognize who's bringing in, why these blockbusters, do what they do. It's because of stunts.
Absolutely so right.
It baffles me. Why
me too. Me too. I just hope one year they're going to finally do the right thing and do it. I hope so, man. Yeah. And I have to say, Alan, that I personally hope that when Scream 7 comes out, of course, I would hope to know way ahead of time. But when Scream 7 comes out and the credits roll, we see stunt coordinator Alan Robinson for Scream 7.
That's cool, but I'm semi-retired.
Okay.
That
Okay.
may not be surprised to a lot of people, and not something I would pursue at this point. But
Okay. Fair
that would
enough.
be kind of cool. But I'm not in that market. I
Okay.
coordinated a lot of films, and
Yes.
I'm kind of pick and choose. As a older stink I would do.
Sure. Sure.
But
Well, how about
thank you for thinking of me for that job.
you
I
got it,
appreciate
man.
that.
How about this? Ghostface consultant. How would that work for you? Just to consult the actors you're doing Ghostface. Maybe.
Yeah. Just
There it is.
yeah. I mean, everybody's gonna bring their own thing into it, so you can't say
True.
here's how you do it. That's how I did it. That's how Lee did it. That's how
Right.
Matthew. That's how different people did it.
True.
But you can't tell somebody how to do it because it's got to be internal
Good
character.
point.
And that's
That's a
why
good
they
point.
have different people doing Ghostface. I didn't understand that at
Mhm.
first because they want to make it different. They
Yeah.
want to make it. They don't want the audience to go, "Oh, I recognize the body posture and the movements of that guy." It's probably going to
Mhm.
be. They don't want people to start figuring it out. So there's a reason. It's
That's
not
a good point.
just one guy for all of it. Now I
All
was
of it.
fortunate in Scream 2 that I did majority of it. Now, I didn't do it
Yeah.
all, but we've talked about. I
Mhm.
think we talked about all the scenes I did, but that was a large portion of the film.
Oh yeah.
And so I was really blessed with being able to walk away with that. So
Yeah, absolutely. And we're blessed, but
yeah,
as fans to watch it. Trust me, we're the ones that are blessed, man. So thank you
yeah,
for all the heart and passion you put in to being Ghostface. We feel it, we see it, and we're honored by you tonight. And we really
oh,
appreciate it, man. Truly mean that.
Stephen, thank you so much. You had such a great show. It's
Oh,
no wonder
thank you.
you're so successful with it, and it's a pleasure being here. And all those comments, I wish we could take more time and go through all those because I'm reading them and I'm like, that you have such good people on there. Um,
Yes, yes.
we should make this a 3-hour show next time so we can because we'd love to
Hey,
talk. I'd love to talk to all the people because
yes.
you know, it's
Sure.
impossible. It's impossible, but
I know. It's so
um,
hard.
but it'd
But
be nice to do.
it would be nice. And my audience is wonderful, and my community, they're very understanding, and they know that not every question can get addressed. It's just not personal. It's just the way it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but next time maybe if you'd be up for a longer stream, I'll be up for it. We'll talk about that, man. Maybe we can work that out. For sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
That way because that way everybody, um, you know,
Hmm.
more
Yeah. More
more people. I
people.
don't know if everybody. That's a big word, but more people can. So man,
Yes, indeed.
I'm so honored. I mean, the more I go over here and read this stuff, I'm like, I'm blown away. It's just, it's really nice comments too. So thank
Absolutely.
you.
Well, I can tell you, I feel confident. We love you, Alan. We appreciate
Uh,
your work, and the amazing thing is, I got to bring this up again, guys. Not only have you had the opportunity to meet Alan here and get some of your questions answered, you can actually go and meet him one more time here. I got to show this at the end of the month, October 27th through 29th, the Chiller Theater Convention. It is going to be in Parsippany, New Jersey at the Hilton Hotel. And the link to the website for Chiller is in the live chat. So you can get all the information to buy tickets, and you can do a photo op with Alan. You can get an autograph. You can sign a Ghostface picture, or you can bring your own items. And you can get a photo op with the screen used mask that was worn when he killed Jada and Omar, or Phil and Maureen, in the theater, guys. That's
yeah.
incredible opportunity. So
And
I hope you
if I
guys will
might,
go.
yeah,
Yeah.
come out and see me. And if you do, like I said, make sure you tell me in person that you saw me on
Hmm.
Craving Something. Scary with Steven. But if you follow me on Instagram and then have your friends follow me, I'd appreciate that. But following me, we'll see where my next convention is. It might be near you.
That's right. Exactly right. And it sure might. And let me tell you something. Whenever the next convention's booked, Alan,
Yeah.
I'm going to invite you back. We're going to talk about that appearance. If you're willing to come back, we'll talk about it. And I'm going to make sure everyone knows when and where it's at. And
Thanks.
hey, and I also want to mention this: if you happen to be watching this stream and you are involved with booking talent for conventions, or if you are interested in a private signing, Alan is actually in the market to do those things. And the place you need to go to is a 6Com Marketing. Sarah, if you could post that for me real quick one more time, I'd appreciate it. This website that's about to pop up is the actual company that represents Alan. And if you go here to 6Com, hit the link that Sarah's about to post, and that will allow you the opportunity to talk to the right people. You'll talk to Robert over there, and you can discuss your desire to have him come to a con or private signing. There is the website, 6commarketing.com, and you can have Alan potentially at your convention as well. So don't miss out on the opportunity if you're here in that position. But for everyone else, just go see them. And I know you're going to have a blast. So Alan, once more, friend, I'll see you backstage in a minute. So you can just hang tight and we'll wrap up in a little bit.
Sure.
But I want to thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Sarah. You rock. You're getting that stuff posted up there. Such a great show.
She's done a great job. And Val has also done a great job moderating the chat tonight. In fact, Sarah, that's a sound clip for you from Alan. You should clip that out. That's one to keep. This was great. And I look forward to doing it again. And real quick teaser, there's a movie. We'll just say it high level. There's a movie, right, Alan, coming out this year, and that you were actively involved in the stunt work, right? And rigging, head rigger.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I'll let you tell it. So me, you're right here. I'll let you.
You're kind of like,
I know.
No, it's coming out before the end of the year. It's called The Georgetown Project, and it stars Russell Crowe, but it's a horror film.
Yes.
So you can go look behind the scenes, go IMDb, look where your source, and go find out about it. But I worked all over on that, doing flying people and doing stuff. That comes out. It's either November or December, but and we shot that a couple years ago. So it looks really, really good. I saw the trailer, and I'm excited about it. And I don't, I make the movie, so I'm not always as excited, but the Georgetown Project with Russell Crowe. Yeah. Go check it out.
I'm excited. I'm pumped, man. I am so excited. And maybe as we get closer to that dropping in theaters, we can revisit that and talk a little bit more about some of that once it's out in the theaters. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Alan, thank you again. This was such a joy and a pleasure. And I'll meet you backstage. And for everyone in the chat, we want to say thank you too. And you were awesome. Thanks for being here, for your great questions. And go see him at Chiller, guys. Parsippany, New Jersey. Don't miss it. And we'll see you soon. Thanks again, Alan. See you shortly.
All right.
See ya. Bye, everyone.
Hey, you have been watching Craving Something Scary. This is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface, thanking you for stopping by and checking it out.